Whenever there is a condition attached to the program, we turn our attention to if statements. For instance, if today is your birthday, you can go out with your friends. If it is not raining, we will go out for lunch, otherwise, we will cook at home. If a number lies in the range 2 to 4, print twice the number. If it lies in the range 5 to 50, print thrice the number. Otherwise, print the number itself. In all three cases, we had more than one path of flow. A branching is involved, and therefore we make use of conditional statements. If there is exactly one condition, we use an if block. If there are exactly two conditions and they are opposite of each other in the sense that they are mutually exclusive, for instance, if input is greater than 100, do this, otherwise do that, we go for if else statements. See, an input cannot be greater than 100 as well as less than equal to 100 at the same time. Such a scenario represents mutually exclusive conditions. We should use if else in such cases. If there are more than two mutually exclusive conditions involved, if we are classifying, for instance, grades of students based on their marks, we are talking about a mutually exclusive situation with greater than two conditions because grades will generally range from A to F and a student cannot have more than one grade at a time. Such situations warrant the use of if, elif, else block. Now, what you see on your screen is the general syntax of the if statement, the if else statement, and the if elif else statement. Before I proceed to explaining the syntax, this elif that you see here is similar to your else if in other programming languages. If you're familiar with other programming languages, you would know that this elif is a symbolic representation or is synonymous to your else if. So let's start by explaining the if condition. Now let's just focus our attention on this. Okay, I'm talking about this part. So the if statement, right? So when would you use the if statement? Like I said, if you have exactly one condition. Now the interesting thing is if this condition is satisfied, see, you have the if keyword followed by the condition. Now this condition can be made up using your various operators and your variables and your constants. So the tokens that we had discussed previously will be made use of in framing conditions. Mainly relational operators will be involved if we have more than one condition in the if statement, then we will also have to attach those conditions using logical operators. We'll have to join those conditions using logical operators. Now, if this condition is satisfied, then the statements that we see here, the group of statements, would be executed. Now, what if the condition is not satisfied? If the condition is not satisfied, then there is nothing to be done. Then there is nothing to be done. Now, have a look at this. There is a colon out here. Let me just show it to you. There is this part. Okay, it's not happening. Let me try it again. Yeah, that's better. So if you focus on this colon, what this represents is the start of a block. So you write your if keyword, you write the condition, then you give a colon, and then you go to the next line. After you go to the next line, have a look at this gap. This gap is very important. In Python, we do not use braces to start a block. Instead, we use indentation. So here we will indent by how many places? By 4 spaces. We'll indent by 4 spaces. Okay, just keep this in mind. The indentation gap that you see is of 4 spaces. Okay, so you will have to go to the next line and you will have to give 4 spaces here. So you will give 4 spaces and then you will write your statements. So all statements should be aligned. All statements should be written by giving 4 spaces, right? And this colon denotes the start of a block. Okay. Now, if we focus our attention to the next block, this block denotes an if else. So what happens in if else is the condition that is attached with the if keyword, if the condition is satisfied, then the statements associated with the if block will be executed. Now, what if the condition is not satisfied? In the previous case, we saw that if the condition was not satisfied, then we had nothing to do. But in this case, if the condition is not satisfied, we have an else part. So if the condition is not satisfied, the statements associated with the if block will not be executed. We'll come to the else part and we will execute the set of statements. We'll come to the else part and we'll execute the set of statements. So that is how if else works. And remember, just like in if, we'll have to start a block using the colon, right? So the same rules of indentation apply here as well. And the final block that needs to be discussed is the if elif else block. Okay, this part, let's just focus our attention on this. Now, whenever we have more than two conditions, whenever we have more than two mutually exclusive conditions involved, we would go for if elif. Now, here what happens is, if the condition, the first condition, if it is satisfied, then we execute the group of statements. Fair enough. If the first condition is not satisfied, we come to the first elif statement. If the first elif condition is satisfied, we execute the group of statements associated with it. If it is not satisfied, we come to the next elif condition. If the next elif condition is satisfied, we execute the group of statements associated with it. In this way, we keep on checking. If none of the elif conditions is satisfied, along with the if condition not being satisfied, we have only one option left, that is the else part. So we'll come to the else part, and what we'll do is we'll execute the statements associated with the else part. So that is how if elif else works. And remember, this else part that you see here, this else part is optional. This else part is optional. We can have an if elif block without an else part. So this else part is optional, but it's always recommended to have an else part, because if none of the conditions, if none of the above conditions are satisfied, then it's better to have a default condition which will meet our criteria. Okay, so that was all about the if else if block. Now, these are the conditional statements that will be very frequently used during our programming experience with Python. What I'll do is, from the next video, I'll take up programs where we will make use of the various conditional statements depending on the scenario, and see how they can work together to make programming easier in Python. If you found this video useful, do like it and subscribe to our channel. If you have any doubts, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.